Welcome to the DJ interview with your host, Harry the Big Dog.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Harry the Big Dog, and this is the DJ interview. And we're doing a little something different tonight. We had some tech issues, but those are all gone now, and we are all good. Right, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
So today, our special guest is Zulu Jeff, and a lot of you guys know him already, and for those who don't, we're gonna find out, who is Zulu Jeff. He's not a DJ, he's not an MC, he's just that guy that everybody knows and connected with. So, Jeff.
I'm sort of like infamous, like Jesse James. No, yes. Not really.
He's the guy that just knows everybody. So Jeff, let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Oh, wow. That's a very loaded question.
What you do in the entertainment space.
Oh, okay. Because I like playing pranks on people, so that was where I was going. But basically, my name is Jeff. Big Jeff, Zulu Jeff, and I have a whole bunch of other nicknames that my friends gave me. But, I started out in 1994 in the music industry. I was with my boy, Zulu King Chase, and I had met him through my friend Nelson. And we were at this club called Two Eyes on 14th Street and 8th Avenue.
Right.
And, one day we were hanging out, me and Nelson, and we bumped into Chase. He was with Kid from Kid and Play. And so the four of us, just started hanging and kicking it. And
wait, Chase? Chase who?
Yeah,
Charlie Chase?
Not Charlie Chase, Zulu King Chase.
Zulu King Chase. Okay.
Yeah, they used to have issues with that too. They're both Puerto Rican too. And, basically, Chase lived about 7 or 8 blocks away from the club, and he invited me to his house to just hang out because we just were really vibing and everything like that. And so I came the following weekend to his house, and he had about maybe 15, 20 people at this really beautiful studio apartment with like a patio, and everybody was out there hanging out. But I didn't know only just him. My friend Nelson didn't come. And I was just basically like chilling and just hanging out with his children. He had like a 12-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter, and
right.
I love children. And so, I just started talking with him and cracking jokes and hanging out. And, he really took a big liking to me. And he was like, you were the only one that really talked to my kids and spent time with them. And so then he started inviting me over to his house more. And, he had kind of took a temporary break from Zulu Nation, and I was like, oh man, I really want to be a part of Zulu Nation. I've been following it since the early 80s and everything, and I had met a couple people, but I was like, I'd really like to be a part of it. And then maybe a week later, we went to a club and we bumped into this guy named Lucky Strike, God bless the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Chase, where have you been? So one thing leads to another. Next thing I know, a week later, we're opening up an office in Park Avenue and 23rd Street, a Zulu Nation office. And I just went full throttle behind the scenes, working, with Zulu Nation. I met Africa Bambaataa, and, I just we started helping out at the office and going to a lot of functions and parties and, events and things like that. And so the way I got connected was, when I'd meet somebody, just have a little 1 minute, 2 minute conversation, and I would be like, oh, about this event, about that event, and a lot of them didn't know. And then I would say, well, what about this event, about that? And if they were interested, I would if you want, I could let you know more about future events. And about maybe 80-90% of them, were like, yeah, let me know. And so I started keeping in contact with 5, and then it became 10, and then it became 25, and 50, and 100. And now I'm in contact with a couple of 100 hip hop artists, whether they're DJs, B-boys, MCs, graffiti artists. And, it's just simple networking. That's not what my plan was in 94 to do this, but because I'm a people person and I like sharing information, right. That's how I connected. That's the I just conjecture.
That was the abbreviated version.
Yes, I skipped over 20 years of meeting with people and things like that.
Let everybody know the importance. You just hit on a key thing that I do all the time, just staying in contact with people.
Yes, it's funny you mentioned that because DJ Red Alert called me. Today is Tuesday, right? I lose track of time. So he called me on Saturday because he had heard that I started this memorial page on Hip Hop Boulevard, it's hiphopboulevard.net, but the name of the company that I'm part of is Hip Hop Boulevard.
Okay.
And so he had gotten word that I started a memorial page, and he was like really fascinated by that. And so we're having like a half-hour conversation, and probably halfway through the conversation, we're talking about, our relationship, and we're talking about, I reminded him that, he was very touched that I would keep in contact with him, but he would always say to me, like the first year of us, being in contact, he was like, oh, why don't you just email me? And it's like, well, I like to hear people's voices. And so like after maybe 5 or 6 times of him saying that to me, he finally like got the idea that, what, I'm going to just keep calling people and texting people and letting people know, because mind you, in 94, not everybody had a cell phone.
Right.
A lot of people still using beepers. Because if you remember in 93 song, I Get Around, he talks about hitting them on the hip, beeping them. So like I got my first cell phone, I was actually 95. So in 94, when I joined Zulu Nation, I didn't even have a cell phone. I had a beeper or a pager for you young that's out there that, don't know what Betamax and VHS tapes and,
I still got a beeper somewhere around here. I wish you would have said that. I would have brought it out and showed people.
So, yeah, so it's funny, like full circle, last Saturday, me and Red Alert are talking. And I'm telling him that, because he was one of the first people that I really, developed, an affinity for, because, truthfully, like there's certain people that I feel like should be walking around with a cape, and he was one of them. I was like, that's DJ Red, and I could sit here for 10, 15, 20 minutes talking about Red Alert, but, in a nutshell, like, on Sundays, me and my friends would get together and debate and talk about which Red Alert songs we love, which ones we liked, and which ones we didn't like. And there was very few that we didn't like. It was about 95% approval rating. And, like Red Alert was like a god to me. Like,
Right.
I just looked so forward as a teenager to listening to Red Alert and Marley Marl as well, but Red Alert was my guy. And that was the go-to. And, he just used to break so many records, and hip hop was just like, you just look forward to every weekend. What, from 9 to 12. People take it for granted now, but hip hop was real segmented back in the 80s, and looking on the air at 8 in the morning. And you just had a certain time to hear it, and you really valued it, you really treasured it, and Red Alert was like along with about 10 or 12 other people, was really like a treasure to me. And to meet him and to become friends with him, like I'm still like, to this day, I think about it and I get goosebumps.
Yeah. Red Alert, we getting you on this DJ interview. I know you got stories.
Red Alert got stories upon stories.
A 40-year history of stories. We have to do segments.
Yeah. And he used to be the master of sayings, like, Bob. And
yeah, Bob, I remember that.
Which was
I met him a few times with my boy Tommy Lee. The international DJ Tommy Lee.
Yes, sir. Tommy Lee.
Thank you, Tommy Lee, for connecting me and Jeff.
Yeah, together. Absolutely. Shouts to the man, Tommy Lee. I gotta say, Tommy Lee and Red Alert played one of my all-time favorite clubs, Downtime.
Yeah.
3 years, and I used to go religiously on Friday nights, and I'd get there, because I think it was free before 11 o'clock, and I didn't want to bother Red Alert. So I used to get there like 10:45, 10:50, and, the club would be, maybe 50 people there, and Tommy Lee would be killing it, but by the time 12:30 came, the place was packed. And then Red would come on like 1:30 and play till 4, and the music was just incredible. First with Tommy Lee, and then with Red Alert, as I call him, Uncle Red. And it was just like a religious experience, and just amazing. And so many people came through there that would be regulars, like Guru, God bless the dead. He was there all the time, with DJ Alamo, and a bunch of people, like too many to name, but it was a happening spot on Friday nights for about 3.
I remember. I think I went with Tommy down a couple of times, but
Nice.
that wasn't my scene at those times.
Nice. Yeah,
But
I was there 90% of the time. I hardly missed.
Right. I wanted everybody to understand and get to chat with you, just to, so you can explain how valuable keeping these connections are. And like I stated in earlier, you don't DJ, you don't MC, you don't anything, but you're one of them dudes that know everybody. Or almost everybody.
Well, quiet as kept.
Mm-hmm.
Do the beatbox, and I used to rhyme, but I didn't record that many tracks. I have a couple tracks on recording. One of the people that really inspired me to start rhyming back in 1985 was my friend Mike Carroll, aka Music G, and he formed a group called Music G and the Underground Army, which I was a part of.
Okay.
From probably, I want to say like 96 or 97 to about 2005. And the first rhyme I wrote in 85, was basically like something that, Mike, was like, come on, you got to write. And he'd be calling me every week, or we'd be at church on Sundays. He'd be like, what did you write? And so after a month of him nagging me, the first rhyme I wrote in 85 went like this. Check out the one who's on the turntables. Cutting and scratching is not just the fable. Along with the boy that's on the mic. That's right, JB Fresh, the one you like. And so that was my first name, JB Fresh, for Jeff Boyd. And Fresh of Dougie Fresh and other Fresh, So.
Oh, yo, dope. Yes. I did not know that you.
Yeah, I don't tell everybody, but I'm sure.
Well, all 3 billion of Facebook listeners and YouTube is gonna notice now.
Yes. Yes, definitely shout out to Mike. My friend Carl, who's one of my best friends, just passed away in February. He was part of the crew, and then also, we had Jose and Chris that were the dancers, and Jose then became a DJ for us, and then his brother Miguel became a DJ, and we had Kelsey and Louie and Kirk, and Rick Carroll was part of the group. He was like the graffiti artist, and he was also a dancer that was featured in the movies Crush Groove and Beat Street. Not Beat Street, oh goodness. Crush Groove and, oh my God.
Breaking?
No, not Breaking. I can't believe I just had a blank right now.
Wild Style?
No, it wasn't Wild Style. Oh my God. I can't believe it. Well, sorry, Rick. I'm having a brain fart right now. But yeah, he did 2 movies. He was Electric Lex. He was best friends with Pop Master Fable from the Rocksteady crew. Mm-hmm. And, whatchamacallit? No, it was Beat Street. Sorry, Beat Street and Crush Groove.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, and Dave Smye, I can't forget Dave. These are all my, childhood friends from 1983 that, we grew up together. And to this day, we still keep in contact with each other. And, it's a blessing. I'm in contact with a lot of other people from my childhood. So.
Right. It is. Me and Tommy and a few of us, we got 40 plus years.
Wow.
Together.
You got me beat. I'm 37 with these guys.
Yeah.
38 actually, because 80 is 83.
Even if you don't like me, you gotta love me. We've been together for so long.
Real.
So, where did you grow up at? In New York?
Yes, I was born in the Bronx. I moved to Queens when I was like 2 or 3 years old, and I grew up in Fresh Meadows. It's like the borderline of Flushing, Fresh Meadows, over near Queens College, in that area. Called the So I was there from like 73 to like 95.
Okay. And then you left the...
Yeah, I moved out. I stayed at a couple apartments in Queens, and I've lived in every borough except for Staten Island.
Me too.
I mean, I've actually stayed at friends' houses in Staten Island. Shout out to Crystal and Eric, 2 of my close friends. And but I've never actually physically had an apartment or a studio or a room there.
Wow.
Now I'm in Queens. I'm back in Queens. I came back home. I'm in Jamaica, Queens, Cambria Heights. So I love it out there.
Mm-hmm. Now, since you had all these contacts and everything, did people reach out to you for things, or did you kind of turn like a promoter?
So many times. I became a promoter probably around the year 2000, maybe a little bit earlier. And the first thing I started promoting was like Zulu Nation events and everything like that, because by that time I had about 25 or 50 connects, I'd say like at least 50. So by the time 2000 came, I'd start reaching out to people for the Zulu Nation anniversary in November that we did every year.
Right.
And kept performing. I've had so many people perform, from, DMC to Big Daddy Kane to Dougie Fresh to Rakim to Evil D and Red Alert and so many. I mean, like, the list goes on and on. Nice and Smooth, Houdini. Like, I've had so many people perform at the Zulu Nation anniversary, from, like I said, like 98, 99 up until about 2015, 2016.
Do you know some of these people personally?
Yes. That's the thing. Like I said before, when I started out in '94, I didn't know I was going to be a promoter or / a network or a host or anything. I just loved hip hop, and it, emanated through my soul. But my first love was actually R&B. Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, Shaka Khan, Earth, Wind and Fire, OJ's, Patti LaBelle, people like that. That's where my first love was, and basically, I actually, speak to probably 5 to 10 of these guys in a week, on a regular basis. People like Mike G from the Jungle Brothers and people like Tila Brock. And I used to hang out with the Beat Nuts all the time. They were like my first hangout crew.
Oh, the album is so dope. It's so underrated. How that? Oh man, we was listening to it the other day. That's why when you said that, it just brought me back there.
I used to be with Fable and Frosty Freeze from the Rocksteady crew, and I used to hang out with Phase 2, the legendary graffiti artist that just passed. And I used to go on the road with Rob Bass. I used to go on the road with Red Alert.
Wow.
And, I used to spend a lot of time in the early 2000s with Red Alert and Minor, who's actually my best friend, my male best friend. Jenny is my best friend altogether, but Minor is my closest male friend. He and I used to spend a lot of time in the early 2000s, and our friendship took off when we lived together in Harlem in the same building as Red Alert. So the three of us spend every day, like, sometimes 5-6 days a week together straight, just hanging out, going to events and going out to eat and just, laughing and breaking bread and just having a great time,
Yeah.
So, blessing. Like I said, it would be like me telling you, like, oh, I knew I was going to be a senator or astronaut. I never foresaw this. Like, I figured maybe it's best I'll reach out to a Chuck D or to a KRS-One or a Rakim or Run DMC and just shake their hand and just say thank you, for my life. Thank you, Uncle Ralph. Thank you, Red Alert. Thank you, Marley Marl. And meeting Kool Herc and Africa Bambaataa and Grandmaster Flash, I was just like, I just can't believe these are the people that actually created the art form that I love. And so, I'm living a dream, but I'm grateful to God for the blessings that He's given me in the music industry. And I've been doing Tony Touch, which is Toka Tuesdays. We started that in 2008, and how that happened. I was going to Manhattan's. It was him, Danny Castro, and Voodoo Ray, God bless the dead. They used to promote this party. And I used to come like almost every week. And Tony's like, I'm starting this new spot, in September of 2008. This is the summer. But he's like, in 2008, I'm starting this new spot called Toka Tuesdays at Club Sutra on 1st Street and 1st Avenue. Do you want to get involved? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not doing anything on a Tuesday night. I'm like, all right, this will probably last a year. It'll be fun, get paid and have a couple free drinks and hang out with everybody. And here it is, 13 years later, we're still going strong. Wow. Like, I'm thinking 1 year, 2 years max. I was not thinking this was going to be going on for the next 13 years, Yeah.
Did this virus kind of mess that up?
Yeah, big time. A lot of DJs have, been, down and out, like, and not in terms of like destitute, but, it's like, this is their livelihood, and, club shut down pretty much, for the most part. So it's been difficult. You know, I mean, people have found ways to reinvent themselves, and the person that really benefited the most from this is D Nice, because you know, he was in Time magazine as, you know, one of the people, you know, greatest people of the year and everything, because, you know, back in, I don't know, maybe it was April or maybe March of 2020, he did this event online. He just started DJing, and like literally Joe Biden and, you know, Michelle Obama
jumped on,
you know, and then like people started like just spreading the word. And so like you would have 50 actors and singers and hip hop artists. Sometimes like I saw about 100 on one time, like with everybody tuning in and listening to the music. And of course, you know, people are haters. So then they started like really shutting down it was like they called it club quarantine, because, you know, they didn't have the rights to play the music. So now what they do is they play 2 minutes of it and they go into another song. So they get around it by that, because D Nice is still playing to this day. Like every third day he plays, he goes live. And like I said, he had it at one point, he had 250,000 people watching him from the world. Now he averages like around 20,000, 25,000, something like that. But that's still amazing. Like there's 25,000 people tuned into him, watching plays at any given time.
Just to listen to him play music, that's
good. Yeah,
it's still amazing when you think about it.
It's the power of hip hop. You know, they didn't do this with country music or rock and roll or soul music. And I love all those genres and art forms. But, you know, hip hop is where we decided we took it to the next level, and we started inspiring other DJs. So now every week you'll see Tony Touch going live a couple times a week. You'll see Maceo, DJ Maceo. You'll see Kid Capri. You know, you'll see a lot of DJs go live every week. You know, once a week, twice a week, sometimes even 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Lord Finesse, you know, there's so many DJs out there DJing, and it's great because it gives people hope. It makes people happy, and it's, you know, a way for the DJ to stay relevant in people's hearts and minds.
Now, what I do is I inform and tell DJs about the streaming. I'm a live streamer, and, you know, I've been doing this for a little while now. I got about 170 plus live streams under my belt, so I know a little something. And what I do is I tell the DJs, you know, even when this virus goes away, people are not gonna go and flock back out to the clubs like that.
True.
Get used to streaming. You know, it's funny because you're in a place and, you know, you don't know if anybody's listening or not. But once you get used to that and get over that, you got platforms like this Zoom. I don't recommend playing on Facebook or Instagram or the rest of them, because they don't want you there.
No, they definitely don't.
They don't.
Those
but you have platforms like Mixcloud and PlayDJ.tv, which are legal. They're paid. You know, you're talking about $15, $19 a month to play music freely. And
wow, that's dope.
Take your crowd there. And that's what I do.
That's great. No, that's great.
This is actually streaming to Mixcloud now. So nice. I can actually play music, but I don't, because I do stream to Facebook, and I stream to YouTube, and, you know, a couple of other places that they just don't allow it, or they don't want you. So I educate as much as I can about the streaming aspect of it, because you can make money streaming. I'm you know, training a couple of people now behind the scenes to do that. Start DJ schools, start, you know, do other things besides, you know, a live event. And the plus about it is you're not locked to your local area anymore.
Nice.
It's just not Queens, you know, St. Albans and Jamaica Avenue and all of that anymore, and maybe parts of Manhattan. You're talking worldwide now. Me and Tommy Lee, we did a New Year's event. We had a person show up from the UK. It was already 4 a.m. She was already tore down. But we had that person from the UK. and that's big. You know, you do other events. You got people from New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Philadelphia, California, all on one call, and you cannot get that anywhere else doing a live event unless people done flew into where you are. So I just wanted everybody to understand about, you know, the streaming aspect of it, all the DJs, I should say, the streaming aspect of it, and get good at it. You know, understand your equipment, understand your internet. And also I wanted everybody to hear from you about, you know, if you can give us one little secret tip on how these DJs, you know, when even now, starting from now, can get out there and start connecting with people for when stuff does start to open up, or they get a streaming opportunity with somebody.
That's good. I mean, to me, I think the best way to connect with people is to go on other people's pages and support, you know, reach out, you know, get into the group chats, and, you know, when things start to open up, start going to different hip hop events. Mm-hmm. You know, Poker Tuesdays on Tuesday. You got Natasha Diggs. You know, they got the what's that called? I can't even think right now. My brain is not working. Yeah, well, if you look up Natasha Diggs and D Prosper, they got a great party on Fridays that they've been doing for the last, I don't know, 5-10 years. And then you got the Freedom Party, you know, with Mark Smooth and what you call it, DJ Cozy. And you got the end of the week, you know, they do that on Sundays. Mm-hmm. So this hip hop things going on. And in the summer, you got the park jams, and, you know, like, you know, in New York, you got SOBs, you got Chelsea Hall, Sony Hall, you got a couple other spots, you know, so you just have to, like, basically just plug into people and just network and just, like, you know, try to find, like, different venues that do hip hop, and just look it up and online and everything like that. And you know, it'll come up on the events pages and stuff like that. You know, get yourself out there, just network. That's how I did it, you know.
Right. That is key, what you said at the beginning of that.
You gotta be out
other places and support them.
Yes.
You know, get to know people, get to know the environment that they're in.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. So it is, like, real vital. You know, one of the things that I help people do is to connect. Yes. I'm a natural connector too, and some of the people in the chat will tell you. And that's how we became friends. It's people that I've met once, and you know, 4 years later, we talking like we knew each other forever, every day almost. And you just have to connect. When we connected, it was when I was talking to you, I wanted to know some information, but like I told you on the phone, I don't want to know everything, because I want to be as surprised as people when we get on here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's you know, we live in this day and age that's so much different from the 80s and the 90s, music wise and social media wise and everything. And you never know who's watching you. You know, you never know who's talking about you. You know, MC Search last week reached out to me. I hadn't heard from him in a couple months, and he was just like, yo, how are you? You know, I like to connect with you. And, you know, we just started talking and everything. And, you know, I've met a few friends through other MCs and DJs. You know, they'll be like, oh, call Jeff or go to this event and, you know, get to know Jeff. He is a, you know, a person of, you know, of means and
right.
has good, and he'll help you, you know. And so I've met about 5 or 6 friends based on references from other friends that linked me with them. They're like, oh, go over there and talk to Jeff. You can't miss him. He's the tallest guy in the club.
The big guy over there.
So, you know, I've actually become friends with people through that, you know.
And that's just being a connector and you know, being cool with people.
Yes.
It's some people that are not cool and standoffish.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work when you're looking to get gigs or hop on somebody else. I'd rather be a DJ that's an alternate that's in your mind. So when your main DJ don't show up, Jeff is like, yo, I know somebody. Hold on. And you can just call and be like, yo, I got a gig for you. Can you come down now?
Exactly.
It's nice to have those connections, and they're really invaluable.
100%.
Get them. Oh man, you talk about MC Search. These are people I'm looking at, and we'll get into the Hip Hop Museum in a second. But you're talking about MC Search just calling you out the blue. How many people get that?
Not too much. And I don't take it for granted. Like I said, I'm blessed.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Hip Hop Museum with Pete Nice.
Yes.
And I think he's a part of that because I heard a interview with Rhonda Supreme, and Pete Nice was talking about how that. And I've never heard of the Hip Hop Museum before that interview.
It's gonna be huge. Shout out to Rocky Bucano and Curtis Blow and a few other people that are really behind this. I'm affiliated with it. I'm more directly involved with the Hip Hop Boulevard, but I am definitely one of the people that's I'm helping out the Hip Hop Museum. They're building it in the Bronx, about 10 blocks away from Yankee Stadium, around 151st Street on the west side. It's going to be a huge high rise, and there's going to be a museum inside the building. There are going to be apartments inside for rent, and there's going to be like a carousel. It's going to be like a mini Great Adventures and everything like that, with rides, and museums, and it's going to have like a place where people could DJ and people can do symposiums and talks and panels, and have like a little place where people can listen to music. Like, I don't know how big it's going to be, maybe like 200-300 people could be in one room at a time. And and this whole thing is the whole thing is going to take about 2.5 more years before it's totally built. It's going to be.
Did we lose you, Jeff? He might have got a call.
Yeah, I think they're there like maybe 11 a.m. to about 7 p.m. And I don't think they do it every day. I think they do it like 3 days a week and everything. So,
right.
But you go up there to the museum. It's like 151st and exterior place.
Okay, so it's not built yet.
No,
okay.
Like 2024. They have like I said, like a little room that's maybe 50 feet by 25 feet, and they got like a train in there, and graffiti and flyers and pictures, and like stuff on the walls, like with different artists and stuff that was donated by people like Curtis Blow and Crazy Legs and Grandmaster Flash and people like that.
Wait, we talking about a MTA train or a toy train?
Like a toy train, but I mean it's like lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go up there and check it out. It's really nice. That's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I haven't been to New York in a while, since 2019.
Oh, wow.
So it's been.
You come up to the Bronx, that's where you got to go.
Yeah. Definitely. But, this boulevard, tell us about that.
Yeah, that was created by Al Pizarro. And, you have Grand Wizard Theodore. Tony Tone was one of the originals from the Cold Crush to be on the board, and me and Al go back 25 years, and he's got a good heart, and it was created basically to help the pioneers to get medical insurance for people, to get pensions, and to make sure that the pioneers are taken care of, to create jobs and possibilities. And we do an awards show. We're working on a TV show with Sal Abatello and a couple other people. I'm going to be a part of that. And we're working on a couple of other things, that's going to be taking place in the spring, late spring, early summer. The pandemic kind of pushed everything back, but it's going to be really nice. We did a really nice event maybe about 4 or 5 months ago where we honored the pioneers. We had a pioneer luncheon and everything. And, Full Herc actually came through, so that was pretty awesome. Like I said, we got Peso on there from the Fearless Four. Jazzy J is a part of it. Grand was Theodore is a part of it. And DJ Flame, aka Queen Gail from the Mercedes Ladies, she's a part of it. And like I said, it's just a great movement. And so the last thing I want to say is myself and Steve, my childhood friend, we created a memorial page. And basically what it is it's a picture of a pioneer or somebody in the hip hop industry that passed away with a mini bio, like 3-4 lines talking about their contributions to hip hop. So right now we've done about 55 or 60 of them. And if you check it out, like I said, you go to hiphopboulevard.net and then you hit the icon on the 3 little squiggly lines at the top, and then you hit memorial. And then once you hit memorial, you scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see 5 little icons, DJ, MC, and you hit that and it'll pop up with a picture. And so this past weekend, we just put up DMX, Black Rob, and Ecstasy. Right. Overdue from Houdini. But like I said, there's close to 60 on there, and I'm going to put up another 10 or 15 more the end of this week. So it's hard. It's a tedious process. It takes about 10-15 minutes per person. So if we do 15 of them, that's like 4 hours, to do 4 hours to do. So
yeah, that is so dope.
Really great.
Say the website again for everybody.
hiphopboulevard.net.
hiphopboulevard.net. hiphopboulevard.net. Go there and check this out and support that website.
Hit the little 3 squiggly lines, then memorial, and then scroll down to the bottom. And it's hit one of the 5 icons. And there's DJs. We got so many people. Lovebug Starsky's on there. We got Scott LaRock and Jam Master Jay. For the MCs, we got Big Pun. We got Prince Marky D. We got, so many. I mean, we got people from the West Coast, Detroit, Texas, Memphis, Chicago. We didn't just do New York. It's a lot of New York. We want to show love to everybody on there. In Boston, we got Guru and Scientific up there. From Detroit, we got Proof. From LA, we got Shabadoo, and we got Rerun. We got Eazy-E. Like I said, in San Francisco, we got people. We even got Mac Miller up there. So we try to represent all throughout the country. We got Texas up there, Houston, and Dallas. So it's a great page, and there's going to be more to come. Yeah,
it's sad but good. Sad, but that it's more to come.
Yes. Yes, very, very. I was telling somebody we've lost 7 since December, the end of the time, starting with Ecstasy. Ricky Powell and Mums, and Shock G and Black Rob and DMX, and
those are just in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. So we've lost 7 since December 23rd. It's very, very sad.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all's mindset is when you're entering this data and you're just looking at this person, you knowing they're not here anymore, and you're seeing their bio.
I hope that my thought process is that it's sad, but I'm hoping that their loved ones will see it and appreciate it and know that they're not forgotten and that they're loved and cared for, because every time, like Sunday I was at DMX funeral, the private one, and like his kids got up there and they're like, Daddy, I know that you're not here, but I really wish you were. I wish that you could walk me down the aisle when I get married, or be there to see me graduate. And it's just like, it just wrenches my heart. It's like so sad. And that's my thought process always. Like, it's not about me. Yes, I miss my friends that passed away in the hip hop industry, but they leave behind wives and husbands and girlfriends and boyfriends and children and father, sons and daughters and, brothers and sisters. And, it's you can't get that back. You can't, once they're gone, that's it. You can't have a do-over.
Right.
And so,
there's no
got to make the most of the time when they're here on Earth. We try to love them and try to show them respect and care.
So what do you got planned for the near future? It seems like, you know, this virus situation is just so up and down.
Yeah, I try to stay busy.
I've heard a couple of places that's getting ready to close back up.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I'm hosting an event May 8th. Becky, she's been doing it once a month. It's in Brooklyn. It's at, I forgot the name of the spot. I think it's called King of Spades. It's from 6 p.m. to 12. And it's going to be DJ Red Alert, Ralph McDaniels, and DP1, 3 great DJs. Mm-hmm. And, they're doing a tribute to Chris Lighty. That's actually Chris Lighty's birthday. God bless the dead. And I'm going to host, you know, it's Becky's party. She's the one that puts it together. And it's a dope spot, you know.
It's a live event?
It's a live event.
Okay.
It's not Saturday, but Saturday, May 8th. You know? So that's the next Bob with, you know.
For everybody that's in the New York area, go support that event. We'll have it in the description. But yeah, man, thank you for, you know, hanging out with me even through the issues we had initially. But
yeah,
you know, we got this thing done, and you know, I know you got a million more stories. But we'll save it for another time.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem.
I hope I get in your Rolodex with
yeah.
people that, you know, that can just call you and say, hey, what's going on?
Sure. Anytime. You know, you can reach me at jeff.boyd 1970 @gmail.com. My Instagram is Zulu Jeff 157. My Facebook is Jeffrey Boyd. That's JEFFREYBOYD. Roger
that. Say those websites again for everybody.
Jeffrey Boyd on Facebook. JEFFREY space BOYD. That's on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Zulu Jeff, ZULUJEFF 157. I used to live on 157th by Yankee Stadium. Me and Minor, and then me and Tony, another one of my good friends. She and I used to live together up there on 157th and Walton Avenue in the Bronx. So that's my Instagram page. And then my email is jeff.boyd1970 @gmail.com.
Roger that. I want to thank you and for taking the time and coming down and educating some of us on staying connected and how to reach out to connect people, but mainly is maintaining that connection, because that's, you know, where a lot of people fall, where you can make the connection, we can have a good conversation, and that's it.
No doubt.
Nobody reaches out.
Yep.
You have to be that one to reach out sometimes.
Yeah, for real.
The other person may not be that type of person.
And you never know whose lives you're touching by that.
Yeah.
You know. So, would it be okay to shout out a few people before
definitely.
It's always about showing love. That's my credo. So, shout out to my family. It's Jenny, Susie, Christine, Crystal, Megan, Carmen, Lynx. Shout out to Lori, Patty, Eric, Joe, Mel, Steve. Shout out to Mike Carroll and Rick and Dave and Kelsey and Jose and Boulevard. And I'm trying to think, who else am I missing? I'm missing some people. Oh goodness, my brain is not working. Well, you know, much love to everybody out there listening. And you know, I look forward to doing this again. And thank you, Tommy Lee, for linking this.
Yeah,
you know.
Thanks, Tommy Lee, for setting this up. Shout out to everybody. This is Harry the Big Dog, and this is the DJ interview. We will be back Tuesdays.
Right.
Every Tuesday, 8ish, we will be back. So you guys have a good night, and we'll see you soon.
One love to Minor too, and Shiloh. Peace. Thank you, Harry.
All right, crew. I thank you much, bro.
All right, man. Peace.
Later.